Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper in my natural environment today. The garden. Genesis. It's where it all started, right? So I'm actually underneath two Trifoliate Citrus trees, and these have been amazing for us. We got a video coming up where we make like a key lime pie substitute out of the fruit from these. Let me get one for you. Yeah, there we go. These guys are awesome. They are a citrus that can grow across the Ozarks. I guess they're maybe pretty rampant in Texas too, but I know they can grow Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, and they got seeds in them, which is good. I like things that are reproductive, not things that are sterile. So pretty exciting, and I'm planting a bunch so I can have more for next year. I actually layered one in the past where I put a pot down around the stem of one of these suckers here and got it to root, so I cut it out, put it over by my pond so I could have another tree that was, you know, feet tall immediately without growing it from seed. But I got some seeds now too, and in this video, this is the official announcement that our seed store is stocked and open. I wanted to wait till I had multiple things because honestly, if I sell something in our seed store, it's gonna cost me about $5 in shipping. And that's just the shipping. I often use, envelopes that are tougher. Sometimes I use padded ones depending on what I'm shipping. And just the shipping on it, to have tracking, to have something that's not machine processed, is gonna cost me high $4 to $5. So that's why a lot of our seeds are listed for a minimum of $5 a piece per packet. And the goal is, with the seeds that we sell, is if you buy from us, the goal is that you will never need to buy those seeds again. These are all seeds we keep reproducing year after year after year on our property. Some of the stuff I got in 2017, 2016, 2018, and I've never had to buy those seeds again. Some of the stuff I haven't even had to plant again. I'll get to the Malabar Spinach in a minute. But I wanted to list a bunch at once, that way people could pick up 4 or 5 different varieties or more. At least 2 or 3 varieties if they want. Where if they were gonna pick up 4 or 5 varieties and I list them all one at a time, and they bought them all one at a time, and I'm out $5 just in shipping, much less packaging and time invested and everything else, that wouldn't work out well for me. So I wanted to list where I had a pile at once. So if you see multiple things you like, by all means, feel free to pick up multiples. That does help our family. It makes it more financially beneficial for us. But also, I don't want to just offer up garbage to you guys. I don't want to just have things that are ridiculously expensive. I want to make it where it's financially beneficial for you guys, and like I said too, that we can set you guys up for hopefully a lifetime. In fact, maybe multiple generations. A lot of these seeds, I tell my children, if they want to continue in a lifestyle like this, which is the one that makes the most sense to us, and they understand a couple of the different varieties of how you can live and where you can live and what you can do in those environments, there's a reason we've chosen this one. We're modeling it because it's the lifestyle that we live for our children. We're not going to force them into anything when they're adults. They're going to be able to make their own decisions. But if they choose to follow a similar lifestyle, a lot of the stuff we're growing right now, they're going to have an opportunity to grow, because the better we do, at it, the more seeds there's going to be later. In fact, some of this stuff, I might start getting trees growing in bigger pots over these next couple of years, that way when my children marry, and if they get a homestead, they get somewhere they can have a little piece of property and grow something, that they have established fruit trees to grow there. At least they'll have seeds to take with them. So you'll notice here, there's only one more up in this tree, and it's stuck on one of the little thorns they have. I try to replicate the way that things were created. Right now in the fall, these are going to fall to the ground. Right now is when they're going to be planted, in essence, and then in the spring they should be coming up. So that's what I'm doing here. Some types of seeds have to be like, cold stratified and different stuff. Some of them have to be scarified. It can all happen in creation, in the way it was designed to function, and I don't have to worry about hitting it with a file and soaking it in water and putting it in the fridge or the freezer. All that can happen out here. So I'm just trying to replicate the way that it was designed to function. It works a lot better for me. With these Trifoliate Citrus seeds, with everything we list, I offer a minimum seed count, and then we always go above, because I don't want anyone to say like, oh, you told me I'd get 12 seeds, there was only 11. I don't want to play those games where I'm not a man of my word. So we always put an extra above the guaranteed seed count. And I got these a little bit ago. We've been working on them, making lemonade substitute. Absolutely amazing. We loved it so much. But when you guys order, I've dried these out enough that when I ship them to you, they're not going to mold. But I also have them fresh enough where they're not completely so dried that they may never germinate. So that's a risky run sometimes. So my goal, or my suggestion to people, is going to be, if you get, for instance, I'll tell you what seeds, but these seeds from the Trifoliate Citrus, I would plant them now in most growing areas. I would plant them now. I would recommend planting them in a pot. Yeah, I'd go bigger than this if I was you guys, They do grow thorns. They're not as bad as a honey locust, but they do grow thorns. So if you just plant them somewhere and then forget about them, you can get a flat tire later as they come up. If you get them in a pot, leave that outside. I'd even maybe tuck it into the soil. This soil is pretty nice and loose here, so it's easy to bury something down. I'm actually going to mulch up around all this. But then once it gets established, then you can plant it somewhere where you know where it is, and let it grow there. But I would recommend planting them in most areas now. And these do great as just a perennial. I planted them in 2017. And this last year was the first year they flowered and fruited for us. And I had over 100 per tree. We still haven't explored all the options with these, but we love eating them fresh. And we like the lemonade from them. And we like the key lime pie from them too. I think Pinky make another one today. So these are live, these are listed. There's a limited quantity, but I want to be able to get them in as many people's hands as we possibly can. One really cool thing we're doing this year is we're offering all 3 of our top garden plants, which is incredible for us. There's a reason they're our top 3, and I'm so glad to be able to put them into y'all's hands if you guys desire. So what we have here is this trellis. I planted once in 2018. I forget if it was 10 or 12 plants along this fence line, and I have not had to plant it since. This is the red stem Malabar spinach. There's a bunch of seeds. I cut back everything. All these seeds are just falling to the ground right now. And I'm going to tuck them in. I'm going to add a little bit of topsoil to this and kind of tuck them in for the winter. I haven't had to plant them since 2018. It's a tropical plant that's a perennial down there. Here it's a self-sowing annual. I have a buddy in Kansas where it's a little colder. He says his doesn't come back on its own. But I would believe zone 6A or 6B, 7A is where I am. From zone 7 and below, I bet you it's self-sowing. I bet you'll never need to plant it again if you let it go to seed and let it drop where you have it planted. I'm actually going to reinforce this whole trellis because it started tipping with the weight this year, but it makes a spinach substitute. A big old green leaf, absolutely awesome. We like it raw, we like it cooked, we like using it for like a sandwich wrap. We'll make a carp salad sandwich, kind of like tuna salad, but with the carp we bowfish. We'll roll it up in those leaves and eat it. Very tasty, use it as a salad base, use it as a stir fry base. And again, the goal is if you guys buy this from us, you should be able to get them growing. If you get them growing, let them go to seed. If the seeds fall back where you had them planted, and you're in zones probably 7 or farther south, you should never need to plant it again. You should never need to buy those seeds again. And this is one I like to replicate. So here, If the seeds fall at this time of year, I like to just chop whatever we didn't eat back. We cover it and tuck them in for the winter. And in the spring they sprout up and they overtake this with more greens than we could possibly handle. It's a green that doesn't really bolt, you know, like a salad would, like a lettuce, where it gets bitter and stuff. It maintains its flavor. It thrives in the heat because it's actually a tropical plant. And as long as it has enough water, it does amazing. But that's one of our top 3 garden plants, and they are available and listed now. And again, another one I would sow if you're in zone 7 or south. I would sow now. Our top garden plant is the snake gourds. These are ones we let go to seed, and they are absolutely amazing. There's a reason they're our top garden plant. We use them as a pickle substitute if we can them like you would pickles. They're virtually indistinguishable, which is absolutely awesome. If you have a bad crop of cucumbers, you can cut up a bunch of these and let them work as a cucumber substitute for making pickles. They did great. My friend Chris down at Shalom Acres figured that one out. A lot of times they get really big and past their prime, but if you hit them when they're right, and sometimes that's even 2 to 3 feet or more, they're still soft skinned. Now they're very hard, and then they don't have seeds formed. So except for the stem end and the blossom end, the whole thing you can eat in between there. If you wait till they're too long or too hard, you have to peel the outside and then core the inside. But we can get such incredible meals out of these, and again, whether it's using them for pickles or just eating them in a stir fry or a soup, they are amazing. We love them, and we can get a good sized meal for our family of 10 out of one of these. If you let a couple go to seed, you're going to have more than enough seeds for the next year. And in some ways, it's kind of like trying to work ourselves out of a job with this, because I've gotten these to people before, and then everyone in their area that has any interest, they take care of for free. Because by letting some go to seed, they're not only getting their own supply for the next year, but so many to share. And it's just trying to get these things that work amazing well for us that we didn't even know about when we moved down here in 2015. But they become staples in our diet. They thrive in the environment we now live in down here in the Ozarks, and they produce such a harvest. That's why it's my top garden plant. I just want to, let people know about this stuff, get it into their hands, and give them an opportunity to really never need to buy them again. Let them become a staple for them if they desire. They may not be for everyone. They're definitely for us. They're my top garden plants, and I love growing them. I built a mega trellis just to let them grow up next year, and I'm so excited about it. And these ones here, I would recommend planting in the spring. I would not sow them now, although I think I have a buddy, Shalom Acres, he might actually just let his fall to the ground and come back in the spring. He's just got that many going to seed. They're that much of a staple for him. I don't know, but I would start them in the spring like you would squash or stuff like that, and then give them a trellis to run up. They should do amazing. The pepper in Papa Pepper comes from super hot peppers. These here are some ghost peppers that got hit by the frost. We had an incredible harvest. We made some really good salsas. My family likes ghost pepper salsa, and Mama Pepper's really pleased with the turnout that we had this year. But the pepper in Papa Pepper comes from super hot peppers. Ghost peppers have long time been my favorite, since probably 2011, 2012, sometime around that time period. They do amazing. They put out incredible harvests. I actually wanted to save some of these and overwinter them, but the frost came too quick, killed them all. We didn't get everyone we could have harvested, but we got an incredible harvest. These guys can be a little hard to germinate sometimes, so beware of that. And some people even say they can take up to 3 months to germinate. We've done pretty well. Back in my native Wisconsin, I'd start them about mid-February just to have a good established plant by the time I'd plant them at the beginning of June. Here, we've got a little more leeway with that. We can plant them a little earlier outside and stuff, but they do amazing. If you're into super hot peppers, we also have those listed, and these have, long been a favorite of mine. Because we're past the prime growing season, I don't have a good example of the Chinese red noodle beans. Here's a dried pod, but they are good raw, they're good pickled, and they're good cooked. They've got, this is probably a dozen seeds right here, and they are amazing. They'll grow up a trellis. They like something vertical to run up. They'll make 2 little flowers, and you can twist them off when they get the 2 first beans, and then they'll have 2 more flowers. It'll make 2 more and 2 more and 2 more, and then they'll make another one's up here, another one's up here. They put out an incredible harvest. My children love eating them. We love eating them. They become a staple in our diet. They freeze well for us. We also pickle them, And then we eat a lot of them raw or cooked in salads or stir fries or soups. Very versatile. And then also, you know, if you're dealing with beans that are 12, 14, 16 inches long and you've got a handful, that's a pretty good, you know, bulky meal. Something to contribute for, you know, your raw vegetables, your cooked vegetables, whatever it may be. They put out an incredible harvest for us. They're one of my top 3 garden plants. So the Malabar Spinach, the snake gourds, and the Chinese red noodle beans. They became a staple of ours, I think, back in 2016, and we have long loved them. Even here, I can't have this in my hand and not just harvest the seeds, but you know, for a smaller family, that one seed pod there, what do I got? I guess 12. There's 12. No, 13. There's 13 seeds in my hand. Boy, I could get an incredible harvest just off of that from one seed pod. So if you guys pick those up, you should never need to buy them again. Have a trellis for them to grow up, and I like them too because they're color coded. There's other long beans, but if they're green, they're harder to distinguish from the plant. So the color coded that, you know, the red ones do absolutely works out better for us. Helps with the children harvesting them too. Just makes life easier, and you should be able to save your seeds from them. I'd plant them in the spring, give them a trellis to run up. Those are also available, and our top 3 garden plants work together really well in a stir fry. When we moved down here to the Ozarks, we became much more intrigued by the natural things out in the woods too. And something like this, these are black haw. They kind of taste like raisins, and they got a little seed in them, but they'll make a rather beautiful tree. Kind of looks apple tree-ish. Look at these harvests up here. Do you guys see all of those? There's just so many of these berries here. And there's clusters of them everywhere. This is a little shady, a little hard to see. The sheep have kept it mowed down underneath. But there's a ton of those berries up there, and they grow really well from seed. In the spring underneath here, there'll be a bunch of little seedlings, and it almost looks like an apple tree crossed with an elderberry when they flower, because they make these little clusters of white flowers. A very nice ornamental, but they also make an edible seed. I'll link a video about the black haw, but we're going to be offering those seeds this year too, just because I think they're cool. And something that if people want to get in their hands, a cool thing to have growing around, something that kind of tastes like a raisin, a neat ornamental, but then also having that food that it provides. So we've got a number of them growing around our property. I didn't know who they were when we moved down here, but I could tell they were something. I like, this seems like it's somebody. Eventually I learned about them, and we're glad to have them. So we're gonna be offering up seeds for the black haw too. Those, I'd think about planting now, just because that's when they normally fall into the ground, sprouting up in the spring. Seems like it's the way that it's designed to work, so that's what we like to do. So these are just kind of the remnants of it. But these are dill. We haven't purchased dill in forever. We've got some, these are taller than me, so like 6 foot tall. Yeah, I'm slightly downhill, maybe 5 to 5.5 feet tall. We've got dill seeds available. You guys probably know how those work. I'd sow them in the spring. But with the cucumbers, you know, that's how you make pickles. Put some dill pickles. You need the dill. But it also works really good with the pickled snake gourds to give them kind of that dill pickle flavor. So this wall behind me is the Korean Goji berry. They're a very tasty little berry, maybe up to almost a ½ inch in length. Considered by some to be one of those, you know, Asian superfoods. They do well in our zone, and these ones seem to put out quite a harvest. We also have Chinese goji berries I'll show you in a minute, but the Korean ones here, we enjoy, we like. Supposedly you can also use the leaves for teas. I haven't done that yet. The berries we definitely enjoy. We've saved our own, dehydrated them, but then also eat them fresh. These actually propagate really well from cuttings too. So once you get some established, it's not hard to put in a big long row. They put out an incredible harvest for us. They make little beautiful purple flowers, really cool to see. And we've enjoyed them. We like having them here. I'm thinking about putting more. Ooh, I got some purple flowers here. I know these aren't probably gonna have time. I'll just break that off. Hopefully you guys can see those cute little purple flowers. I mean, they're rather attractive. And actually this, if I just strip that down and shove that in the soil, there's a good chance that would root by spring and be able to be growing for us. These I think I started from seed. They've done really well for us. I put them in years ago, probably 2018, and they've been here ever since. Sometimes the old canes die out, new ones come. I like running them up a trellis. It just makes it easier to come up and harvest them. And then as they get long in the spring, I'll just kind of weave them back in there, kind of have them grow as a wall. But the Korean goji berries, we have seeds for those. They've worked out very well for us, a staple here in our garden. And they're sweeter when you dehydrate them and dry them. But you know, you can pick them up at health food stores a lot of times too. So it's nice just to be able to grow our own and not pay those health food store prices. And this wall behind me is the Chinese goji berry. Very similar plant. They make a little rounder, a little stouter berry, but really cool. They've done well for us too. And we love the harvest off them. Love having them here on our property, but we have seeds for both kinds. If you're not sure, I'd almost just take the 10 bucks, invest the 10 bucks, grow them both, and then see what you like better. You know, if you picked up a plant at the store often, it's somewhere from like 15 to 25 bucks just for a little plant. So 10 bucks on seeds for 2 varieties where you could grow a whole army of them, I think is a pretty good deal. This should be able to be established for years. Ours have grown here for probably 5 years, I'm guessing. At least 4 years they've been growing. Well, actually, I probably picked these up the same time I picked up those Trifoliate Citrus back in 2017. So probably 6 years by now. But then also, each year you get your own seeds too when you get the fruit. I almost forgot, we have okra for sale this year too. We grow some okra. These ones we are having more go to seed. I got a bunch already dried and available, but if you need a good source for some okra seeds, you should be able to grow your own and then save your seeds every year. You know, let some go to seed and then never need to buy that again either. I really like too, just saving our own seeds. It creates a variety that's hardier for our environment. If it's the ones that really thrived in our environment, we're taking the best of those plants, saving their offspring, the seeds from that. Then whatever our weather's like, whatever our climate's like, whatever our rainfall's like, whatever our soil conditions like, whatever our pests are, we get the best ones that are, you know, best for our area. And I really like that. Right here are some nice, beautiful mullen plants. I don't know if you can see the tall stalks out there. They're a biennial. And the first year they'll look like this. Next year they'll shoot up and go to stalk. We got a bunch of seeds for those. We're using them to build up our pasture, add some biomass. We also like them for a decongestant. We'll make tinctures out of them, I think Mama is. And then also using the leaves for some tea. If you need a source for mullen seeds, those are another one where you shouldn't ever need to buy those seeds again. If you get your hands on some, we have those available. And then new for this year, the Diosporos Virginia, the American Persimmon. We've got seeds for those we're going to have available. I think they taste like an orange freezer pop when they get ready. We really like them. There's a lot of them growing on our property anyway, so we let them grow. They make males and females. This one obviously came from a female. And we enjoy them. I think they taste like an orange freezer pop. They're astringent before they drop to the ground or have their first freeze. But after that, they're really tasty. We enjoy them, and we're going to have those. So if you need some of those trees, they're not hard to grow from seed. All the ones in the wild here grew from seed. We got those that we can list too. Anyway, guys, I got some things to take care of right now. Off the top of my head, those are some of the ones that we're going to have available and listed. Follow the link in the description of the pinned comment to our Etsy store. Feel free to order whatever you want. We should also have some cuttings from some different varieties of figs coming up later in the year, once they go a little more dormant. And then also I'm going to dig up my sunchoke bed and have some of those available, which is really exciting. Sunchokes are amazing. Stay tuned for that. But for right now, these seeds are in limited quality. Oh, that was supposed to be limited quantity. But we also have Ozark Nest Egg Gourds. These are a native one. They vary in shape a bit. These ones are more of the guinea egg shape. But we like growing these and putting these in our chicken nesting boxes or our guinea nesting boxes. So we've got a good supply of these. We found them in the wild. There's a really fun video you can watch about us going and finding them. But fun for arts, fun for crafts, non-edible as far as I know. But a nice little one that's native to the Ozarks here. And then they're called nest egg gourds because you can put them in the nesting box rather than golf balls or those fake little wooden eggs you can buy. We just grow our own. It's kind of fun for the children. We like them. Some of them are, you know, a little different shape. I like the ones that are more guinea egg shaped almost, but those are also available. So appreciate everyone who supports us. We don't think it's a small thing that people would choose to take their hard-earned cash and purchase stuff from us. So we try to do it at the highest quality. We make it a family affair. We try to have everyone involved. And then off the top of my head, these are the ones we have available right now. Feel free to check the full listings. And like I said, the more that you purchase at one time, the better, more cost effective it makes it for us. If there's only one you want, go for it. Go for it. I will gladly take the $5, you know, that it costs me to ship and get some into your hands. We've given away a lot of stuff too, so it just kind of makes it easier for us to get into other people's hands, even if they only want one, where at least they're kind of covering shipping. We'll take care of some of the other stuff. That's fine. I don't mind that. But also, I want to find more ways that we together as a family can help supplement our income from our property. So appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching. And the left button. Thumbs up. For real.
The cow head is good?
Yeah.
That's because you know.